Hi there, my name is Rachel Bickley, and I am the lead designer for the 3-layered fabric masks. I'm here to help you and teach you how to make them. Having reached the crisis point all over the world, many are reaching out via social media to ask for mission-critical help in solving the shortage of masks during the current COVID-19 pandemic. While there are efforts underway to increase the number of masks, ventilators, and other personal protective equipment, or PPE, healthcare heroes cannot wait as the number of COVID-19 cases continues to rise and hospitals are at capacity. For yourself or for someone in your community, it is important to ensure all safety precautions are being taken. You should always wear a form of face covering and a face shield if it's available. Be sure to wash your hands frequently. Wash the fabric before you use it, and wipe down your sewing machines. Make sure you stay at least 6 feet apart from others and avoid touching your face. It is important to understand your machines and the different parts of it. The wheel on the side of your machine is called the hand wheel. A hand wheel allows you to manually move the needle up and down. On this specific machine, your hands will have a spool maker. For those who don't know, a spool is a spinned thread that can be used as the top thread or the bottom. The spool holder is where you will put that newly made spool of thread to be guided through the machine to make up the top thread. The thread guides are specific places where you will pull the thread through so it doesn't get tangled in the machine. The sewing machine needle is the needle where the thread will go through and is the needle that will make the stitches. The bobbin well is where the bottom thread goes. The bottom thread helps secure the stitch on both ends. We make our masks primarily out of eucalyptus lyocell fabric. This fabric is hypoallergenic and makes masks reusable and breathable. Each mask is crafted with 3 layers of 100% cotton and Sheets and Giggles self-cooling eucalyptus lyocell. Currently, a 3-layered mask made out of cotton and eucalyptus lyocell can provide 79% filtration. Our masks follow all World Health Organization and United States Center for Disease Control requirements. We also have a replaceable aluminum nose bridge band clip, which offers a custom seal and fit. It has soft elastic ear bands, which are rounded double band elastic that is carefully engineered for fit and comfort. It also includes a free ear saver, which eliminates ear strain and fatigue. The following materials are necessary and have been proven to be breathable, which is important for making face masks. You will need your sewing machine, a spool of all-purpose thread, scissors, and a pencil. The following fabrics are necessary and approved to use for mask making: eucalyptus lyocell fabric, cotton fabric, muslin cotton fabric or interfacing fabric. You will also need either elastic band or elastic cord between 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. The following fabrics are not approved to use when making a face mask. After testing all of these fabrics, we have found they are either not breathable or will not provide any protection. We have also found that any elastic that is above 1/4 inch is uncomfortable to wear, even for short periods of time. Since we want people to wear these masks as much as possible during the pandemic, it is important that we do everything possible to ensure they are comfortable to wear for over a long period of time. When making a 3-layered mask, it is important that you make a mask that fits your face. A better fit means better protection. We have broken down the sizings from extra small, small, medium, large, and extra large. But for this exercise, we will focus on making a large mask since we have found that most people have a face that fits a large size best. The pattern is one of the most important things because it will determine the size and the overall fit of the mask. Our masks include 3 layers: an outer layer, known as layer 3, a filter layer, known as layer 2, and a liner layer, known as layer 1. Once you've downloaded and printed your patterns, you will need to then cut them out. Once you have printed and cut out your pattern, you should collect the 3 fabrics you are going to be using and follow these instructions. Collect the fabrics for layer 3 or the fashion layer. Pin layer 3 pattern onto the cotton or eucalyptus lyocell fabric. Be sure it lines up. Trace the outer layer pattern using a pencil or pieces of chalk onto the fabric. Remove the pattern, cut the fabric, then set aside. This is how your pattern should look like once you've cut it out. Now, collect the fabrics for layer 2, the filter layer. Pin the layer 2 pattern to the muslin, cotton, or interface fabric. Be sure it lines up. Trace the outer layer pattern using a pencil or a piece of chalk onto the fabric. Remove the pattern and cut it, then set that fabric aside. This is how layer 2 looks like once it's been cut out. Just like layers 3 and 2, collect the fabrics for layer 1, the liner layer. Pin the layer 1 pattern onto the cotton or eucalyptus lyocell fabric. Be sure it lines up. Trace the outer layer pattern using a pencil or piece of chalk onto the fabric. Remove the pattern from the fabric, cut it out, and then set it aside. This is how the pattern should look like once it's cut out. During this stage, you will also want to cut a big strip of fabric about 1 to 2 inches long and set that aside. This will be part of the nose wire pocket. Overall pattern for the inside anatomy of the mask. It looks complicated, yes, but when we look at it in the real world perspective, you can easily see the breakdown of every piece that we've shown you. After cutting out all the fabric, you're going to pin the 2 fashion pieces together. Make sure the 2 pieces are aligned. Run the 2 pinned pieces through the sewing machine on the curved end. Start on the top of the mask and follow the curve until it's sewn into one piece. You're then going to flip it inside out and just take your finger and scratch that seam line, just to make sure that there is no missing stitches. Then you're going to set that aside for the next step. After cutting out the fabric, pin the 2 filter and the 2 liner pieces together. You're going to want the liner to be on the inside and the 2 filter pieces to be on the outside of the pinned piece. Run those 4 pieces through the sewing machine on the curved side. Start with the top of the mask and follow the curve until everything is sewn together in one piece. Just like last time, you're going to take your finger and just scratch along that edge to make sure that all of it has been sewn correctly and together. Once you have sewn the filter and liner pieces together, fold the edges on the filter side. Take a piece of that fabric and sew it along the edge. If this isn't possible, an easier alternative is to just fold the edges of onto the filter side and sew them down. Then take the 1-inch nose wire fabric that we had you set aside, that long piece of fabric, and fold it in half. Sew the edges down. Then you're going to center the tape on the middle of the filter pocket layer. Sew that section, part of the fabric, onto the middle of the mask. Both the top and the bottom of this pocket should be sewn. At this point, you should have 2 sewn pieces. The outer layer, which is layer 3, sewn into one piece. Then you should have layer 2 and 1 sewn together. Align the pieces of fabric with their exposed edges showing. Sew the long ends together with either a straight stitch with a 1/4 inch seam or 6.35 millimeters, and then turn the pieces together inside out. Fold the remaining parts of the fabric in and sew the edges of it down. Make sure you don't sew it onto the liner layer, but right before. You're now going to want to cut 2 13-inch pieces of elastic cord or band. Pull the elastic through the loops you've just created and tie them. You're going to want to hide those knots inside the loops. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening in on how to make your own 3-layered fabric masks.